Welcome everybody to the Poke Battle Network. We've got the regional recap of Peoria coming at you. I am SosaFlo and I am accompanied by SouthwayKhi. How you doing today, Southway?
I'm good and yourself. Glad to be back.
I am great. Glad to have you back. I'm excited. We got another championship tournament to recap here. How did you like this Peoria matchups?
So Peoria, back in Peoria, it was really good seeing it. We're actually seeing it this time. It was really exciting. There were a lot of exciting matches. There were a lot of new faces. There were a lot of champions, and there were a lot of rookies that were making their presence known. So that was a really exciting part of the tournament itself. But seeing the turnout, that was really cool too. 96 registered players going in, and that was a huge turnout for it to be very early out for North American play.
Yeah, North America hitting another 90 spot here in tournaments. Great job by battlers showing up. That means the top 64 started getting 50 points right off the bat. So if you got 64 in this tournament, you making 50 points. So congratulations to those. Where the top 8 made 100 points and the top 1 made 200. We'll have to get into it. Sir, are you excited of battling this season in the Champion Series? Are you going and planning on any regionals?
So I don't battle. I'm more so an official. I'm a professor. So my thing is more so going in and potentially coming in as solicited staff for tournaments. I have 4 tournaments I'm looking forward to going to this year. Of course, Orlando. That's the big one. So Orlando, I want to go to that one. Charlotte, and surprisingly, Los Angeles. I want to go over to Los Angeles and see about it. And NAIC. Those will be the top 4 for me. If anything else happens, it happens, but those are my 4. What about you?
Those are some great ones to go to. NAIC would be fun if I could get out there. I'd love to get out to Sacramento. I don't think I'll be able to make it in time. Portland and Los Angeles are the 2 West Coast ones that I can get out. So I'm gunning for those 2. Those will be my first 2 showings. I've done 2 already, enjoyed it, had some fun last season, and excited for the new season as the meta keeps shifting. And we are going to see what the battlers brought in day 1 of this Peoria matchup and see what the top 12 Pokemon are. Looking at the top 12 Pokemon of Peoria Day 1, we've got Medicham sitting at the 72%, again, sitting high there at 70% of Pokemon battlers bringing it. Then you've got 50% of the battlers coming in with this Lickitung. You've got Gligar sitting at 46%, so still 50% are bringing Gligar, and 50% are about bringing this Lantern as well. So the core 4 kind of getting steadied out there, but right behind it you've got Superior at 35%, Umbreon at 33%, Alolan Sandslash dropped to the 7th spot now, and so did Registeel at the 8th. The Swamperts are still up, hanging on as a thread, as well as the Azumarill, the Venusaur, and then finally coming in at the 12th spot, we've seen it in a couple of grand finals, number 12, Defense Deoxys.
Yeah, and Superior, excuse me, coming in for day 1, like you said, it's doing a little over a third of participation, but performance-wise, it's a popular pick and it's so successful. Just watching it, Superior, I keep saying Superior, but it is exactly that, Superior. It just does amazing things. It's bulky. It's really powerful. It's not the grass type you think it would be, but it does show up and it does show out, and I love it.
Absolutely, that is a great rise. Before it was like maybe showing up in the top 8. Now it's one of the premier top 12, as well as Umbreon. Umbreon had made a couple of top 12 lists before, but not 33%. this Pokemon is being shown off by battlers and saying, if you're gonna bring this Lickitung Medicham core, I'm gonna come after you with this dark, tanky, neutral puppy. It does great at flipping that safe swap Lickitung matchup, and it forces the Medichams to either put on a different moveset either than Psychic and lose its matchup against mirror Medichams, or it gets them to get on that matchup and weakens Medicham to nothing left where the rest of your team can pick up. And if you draw out the Medicham and get rid of Medicham, then things like Swampert or Registeel or Alolan Sandslash can really shine. So I'm loving the rise of Umbreon here on these teams. Another thing I did like too in this tournament and with this top 12 is that we saw things like Lantern coming in and shining as a Water Gunner or a Spark Pokemon, Alolan Sandslash as a Powder Snow or Shadow Claw.
Watching Lickitung dominate, being so dominant, I already knew it was going to be a dominant factor, but watching Lickitung come in and kind of just decimate teams, it was unimaginable, unbelievable.
Right? It's just so thick. It's one of the safe swaps. I feel that's why this rise of Umbreon is here, is because Lickitung is going unchecked with the Noctowl debuffs of Sky Attack, no flyers around. We're going into grass Pokemon to get Flyer Move to be anti-Medicham. That's crazy to think like that. So Lickitung is having a heyday. Absolutely. We're going to look now into day 2 and see what actually went in and made it to day 2 for the top 8 battlers. Get ready, folks, because it is a completely different top 12. We have the Medicham on 100% of the teams. We have Lickitung on 7 of the 8 teams. So this Lickitung Medicham core we talked about is huge. Swampert is there at 37%. A great dominant performance by Swampert this cup that we've already seen numerous amounts of times. Shadow Slash at 37%. Lantern and we're getting new Pokemon, baby. I was waiting for her to come shine. Miss Frostlass comes to play now. We got Shadow Charizard, Shadow Dragonite, Umbreon, Venusaur, Gligar here. And for the big play of Superior, only one battler brought it to this top 8 and got in with it. And that was great play altogether. So well done on this top 12.
There was 0 Pelipper in the top 8. I didn't see it at all. And that's a surprise considering how coveted it was or how much it was touted to be such a big factor. And for it to be nowhere in sight in the top 8 is surprising. But to see, like you said, that core of Medicham and Lickitung reigning supreme, coming back and being a dominant factor in day 2, that was a surprising thing as well.
One big surprising thing on that note that you're talking about is we see it so many times. The number 1 Pokemon, Carbink. We've all been dreading it since it came out. We've known about it. PV Poke has it at number 1, and one battler actually brought it, and it finally saw its debut in the top 8 in Peoria this weekend. So very great by Rockhaven bringing it. Besides that, I was more impressed by the Frostlass introduction. It's very interesting. Like, a lot of people know about Frostlass, but when you think about it, and it's got great moveset with that Avalanche, putting that neutral hard damage onto the Lickitung, still forcing a shield that the Lickitung is in the yellow. Like, that is incredible if you can do it, because Lickitung's gonna hurt Frostlass with those licks, but you wall that Medicham too. So now you're playing that, you put that hard hit on Gligar, which is down at the bottom. Those grasses are down at the bottom. The flyers are down. Like, they're all in check now. Frostlass really shined, and to have Dugong show up in 2 grand finals early on with the ice typing, and to be replaced and nowhere to be seen in this tournament, and Frostlass shined so well. I think the meta adjusted finally, and I think we're finally seeing our favorite ice Pokemon, and a lot of battlers' favorite ice Pokemon here.
So with everybody bringing in Medicham, it was just a matter of how they use Medicham. because you saw a lot of people bring in the preferred psychic, but then you had some people who were risk takers and decided to use dynamic punch instead. So let's compare the moves and see where it would be beneficial and how it would kind of be detrimental. Psychic does 60 damage, takes about 55 energy. The pros of it, it gets more wins. It has 18 wins versus 17 if you go ahead and look at PP Poke. The cons of it, Superior can handle it when you're using Psychic versus using Dynamic Punch, which ironically takes less energy, does more damage. And that's one of the pros of that move. It offers a lot more coverage to things such as Lickitung and Registeel, especially a Lickitung with no shields. Two brought Registeel, and also 3 brought Superior. In fact, the champion, matter of fact, had a Superior on his team. But just goes to show you the diversity of this meta. Even though at this day 2 it got kind of stale with the Medicham, Lickitung core, there was some spice, if you will, with the Superior picks. And in some of those instances, the Superior pick actually worked. So it was really cool to see that, like you said, as well, seeing the Frostlass in there too. Nice and refreshing pick versus what we've always seen.
Absolutely. We're going to now go down into the final stage and see how the day 2 bracket played out.
So the breakdown of day 2 of Peoria Regional. I'll start with the winner semi, where you have King Alexander taking on Nighttime Clasher. You have S James P21 taking on Teddy Bear XD. In that first round, we see King Alexander triumphs over Nighttime Clasher, sending him to the losers bracket. And you have S James P versus Teddy Bear XD. S James P21 is victorious and sends him to the loser bracket as well. And then as we go into the loser bracket, we have Kimisui 227 going up against Zuku. Kimisui reigns triumphant and goes on to the next round. Whereas in the bottom end, we have Rockhaven 703 going up against Rise to the Occasion. And Rockhaven actually manages to bypass Rise to the Occasion, moving on to the next round. And into that next round, it's a rematch upon a rematch. We have Teddy Bear XD going up against Kimisui again, and we have Nighttime Clasher going up against Rockhaven 703. And in both of those rematches, the winner of their respective rounds in the previous end of the matchup goes on to be triumphant once again. Teddy Bear XD and Nighttime Clasher go up against each other once again.
It was definitely a showing of the rookies up to this point. A lot of new faces, a lot of world-class battlers throughout that time as the rookies King Alexander and SP James battled in the winners final, with Nighttime Clashes in the losers final, waiting for the loser of this best of 5. King Alexander sneaking out just win after win with 1 HP, bestly calculating each matchup. S James barely just hanging on, goes down to Nighttime Clasher, battles it out in the losers finals, where they go, and again it comes down to this Frostlass on Dynamic Punch Medicham, and that right there was a huge factor as Frostlass survives that Dynamic Punch, landing all the terror and damage. This Pokemon shines so hard as both of them, the grand finalists King Alexander and S James, shown the Frostlass on Frostlass in almost every matchup, even with Umbreon flying around, even with all of the Medichams doing their thing. Frostlass shown in every battle, and it was amazing to watch King Alexander take a 3-0, and it wasn't an easy 3-0. Like, this was a beautiful 1 HP, and Dream had to in-play macro game 3. It's just so well played out and thought out by both of these battlers. Congratulations to King Alexander for getting the W and sweeping the grand finals again. It seems like a lot of the battlers could only lose to one opponent this weekend as they had to do their rematches. King Alexander rematch with S James. Kimisui versus Teddy Bear, Rockhaven versus Nighttime Clasher. This entire Peoria Regional was so full of drama, and Day 2 had it all.
So day one of Peoria was full of exciting matches. One in particular that I thought was really exciting was Existing Monkey versus Crimson K19. That was in the winners round 2 group B matchup. And I have 3 words: superior, superior, superior. Watching that matchup, watching Superior just be superior in that battle was amazing. Watching it take an unshielded ice punch and just seeing how thick it is and how durable it is, then seeing it closing up a match with a final aerial ace at the end of it to just show its dominance. Superior was so much pressure, and Curitiba, it showed it. We saw the champion had it. Now we have more confirmation from day one usage of Superior being a factor moving forward.
Yeah, the young, talented Out of Pocket brought it to Pittsburgh on our first matchup, and it made it to the first day 2 of our regional championship series. And it is just rised in stock. It just got better and better. And so have our rookies, as they were knocking out world champions all week. You saw great rookies like Rockhaven and Uzoku coming through. This was S. James's first tournament. King Alexander, his 3rd tournament, but showed up strong and dominant and just got his act together. We saw battlers like Drum Sonar and Hit You Hard taking out top tier battlers. Many amazing, so many talented rookie battlers out there. I'm so excited to see what our next weekend has up for Sacramento. So I will be on the lookout at what comes out. Another thing I wanted to note, last mega tournament in Barcelona, regional tournament in Barcelona, we saw every team had a dark Pokemon. Out here in the NA, there's only 3 dark Pokemon. You've got 2 Umbreons and a Mandibuzz. It is a very different asset here in NA, and people were prepared for it. But there wasn't a lot of Fairy. Only 1 Ninetales and a Carbink snuck through on this top, and it seems like that might be the way to go, as Fairy was talked real highly of throughout the weekend. That is going to wrap up the Peoria. Let's go check out some highlights now and see how amazing some of these battlers played.
Looking to build up to double Ice Punch and choose through the Shadow Dragonite. But doesn't matter because the Shadow Alolan Sandslash had a move in the bank. Nighttime Clasher feeling cool and confident over on the right-hand side.
Which means that you're behind on energy. Now, I think Altaria should be able to win this if you just land 1 Moonblast. The Ice Punch is going to do a lot.
Swamp!
The catch!
No,
oh,
he does! Wait a second!
You can see the reaction too, as James B breathing a sigh of relief and BJ.
Wait, he got the Ice Punch off, and he'll be stronger against the Lickitung.
Yeah,
but yes, you are stronger against the Lickitung, but Lickitung is full health.
Yeah, the counter damage unfortunately was way too much.
Oh,
my God, he's
so
surviving the Ice Punch, and this is going to be the nail, the coffin.
Lickitung comes out. These are the final 2 Pokemon on the field. Now it's a race. Aerial Ace versus Body Slam, and the Superior gets to it, clutching up this game number 1 of the best of 5 series.
And get the Vine Whip down? No, you can't do that. So you have to give Aerial Ace. You have to give up an Aerial Ace if you want to. Oh, and the swap onto the Aerial Ace.
So this is going to be interesting. How much energy does Medicham have? Because if you can Vine Whip down and come out with the Aerial Ace, it might not be the worst case scenario. Let's see. Crimson K19 is only a few guys away.
He gets the Vine Whip down, and now he has the Aerial Ace.
The Aerial Ace is there.
He has it.
Ice Punch is not. And the Existing Monkey able to come. Like I said, he had to pull something out of his hat, and that was pure magic there from Existing Monkey.
He goes for it. He goes for it, and he gets it.
Umbreon.
He gets it.
I don't think this is enough to knock out.
It's so close.
A little surprised though.
Yeah.
The comp play. This is James' last hope. Not enough. Does it survive the snarl? It does. It gets the full water gun down.
But it's at 1 health, 1 lick. He doesn't go for the lick. Instead, he swaps into Lickitung, and now the 1 lick won't matter because the Lickitung has a body slam, and King Alexander, there is 1 protection remaining, but SJ lets it go, and King Alexander will be your Peoria Grand Champion.
Welcome everybody. Do you know what really grinds my KlinKlangs? When I have to expose my moveset to my opponent. In the new rule update that is coming out on November 17th of 2023, a team list should include player's name, player ID, alongside the following information for each battler. And as you can see, the variant, which we know about, variant of region, great specific name, wash, rotom, perfect, a shadow, purified, best buddy boost, notified, absolutely. That's information, CP, HP, great, but all known movesets also will be exposed to. The team list should be completed in the language to which the player's Pokemon Go application is set. Players may not deliberately obfuscate the contents of this list, such as by refusing to provide clarification when requested by an opponent or staff. The team list is considered an essential piece of equipment for tournament play. Failure to present this list to the opponent at the beginning of each round may result in procedural error penalties.
So what grinds my KlinKlangs about this is, although more is better, not in this instance. It honestly makes players overthink when anticipating a move combination. So say for instance, you're going up against a Medicham. You as an opponent, you're thinking, well, does it have power up punch? Is it going to spam me with that? Is it going to have ice punch? Or even to really make it worse, is it going to have psychic? Is it going to have dynamic punch? What's it going to do? How is it going to come at me? As you're doing all this thinking, it's taken away from the actual battle. And with
Yeah, I don't like the fact that we get to expose what our gameplay is. So for instance, Pokemon like Lantern, you have Water Gun Lantern variant, you have Spark Lantern variant. Well, battlers build these Pokemon in a specific way to go with their team. And if you can't read that with the team, that's great. They built a great team around that. Spark Lantern doesn't win much matchups against the Gligar like Water Gun Lantern does. And we saw Water Gun Lantern shine this weekend. Not just Lantern itself, but things that are coming in the future. Clodsire, we're about to have a community day where Clodsire comes in, and it has 3 moves where you can bring Stone Edge, Sludge Bomb, and Earthquake. Now, Clodsire with Stone Edge is the only way to win against the Medicham matchup. It does not win with the Earthquake nerf now and the Sludge Bomb. So this Clodsire exposure of that information is going to expose the way the team is built, how battlers will play around it, and gives the opponent an extra bit of information. As a battler myself, if we're gonna go that deep, then I want to know the CMP. I need to know who wins the CMP tie if we're gonna go something like that, because that information of which moveset I'm using is a way my opponent can build around their line of 3 in a way I like to play my trap cards. So it really grinds my KlinKlangs when I have to expose that gameplay out and not get my opponent off guard.
Mm-hmm. And I think what really should be more important is just having a clear view of what's happening for judges and tournament organizers, or judges rather, to figure out the legality of a Pokemon that in play. The rules should be more so a listing of what the moves are currently and locking that down from round 1, as in barring the usage of TMs after the first round has begun, so that it's fair the entire tournament. Versus, okay, you have an entire list of what could be here, instead of saying, this is what you need to have, this is what you presented to us, this is what we should see. If we see anything different, then you'll be penalized.
From a TO perspective, I understand showing off, because in between battles, you can't stop battlers from TMing away. If they see that, we'll just take Hypno for instance, needs an ice punch over a fire punch, and they TM it away. The opponent isn't going to know that it was originally fire punch that Hypno had and they swapped to ice. So why would the TO know that? I understand where it comes from, but it takes away from a giant aspect of battling in that it takes the team building prospect of it out. Another big skill there as a team builder as well. I get it.
Be versatile. Have that knowledge of, okay, somebody see my team, but they don't always know what I'm bringing. Just because it worked that one time doesn't mean I want to bring it in the future. Have that ability to maneuver and move around from what you brought at first to making more surprises later on. Although this open team sheet seems to take away from that element of surprise, there's still a possibility of that. It prepares its battlers for all possibilities. It doesn't say what is happening. So there is that. And the other aspect of it that is great, it clears up uncertainty and ambiguity relating to which version of a Pokemon is being used. So the ambiguity being cleared up by it being listed on the open team sheet is a pro for it. And then also the most important thing, and the thing that we really care about the most, is accountability. It enforces players to be accountable for ensuring that they selected the correct Pokemon during a match, instead of saying, "Oh, I didn't mean to bring this one. It was my other one." As a battler, you know what you're bringing. If you have you have a Azumarill that has one move, and you have another Azumarill that you set up for another move set, so the CP is different. Usually, is different. But you also know which one is which. You have an option of choosing which one is which. There's so many ways for you to there's tags. There's so many ways for you to not have that mistake happen. In addition to this open team sheet, that helps again in tournament play to mitigate the wrong mon being brought out and points being deducted for that transgression. So those are some of the pros I see about this coming up. But of course, like I said, it should be based on what you already have, not what you potentially could have.
Absolutely. And that is what grinds our KlinKlangs. Congratulations, King Alexander, on a dominant run of a sweep, basically not losing a single matchup, didn't get a bracket reset, a dominant 3-0 performance against the same battler in the finals. That had to feel really good. It came down to the wire there with these two. Amazing, amazing, amazing. The top 12 Pokemon on day one were electric and have been changing. This meta has been shifting all around. Southway, what have you seen here with this top 12?
So the top 12, day one, of course, it was what we expected, kind of. Day two, aside from Medicham being the top pick all around, seeing Superior in the mix, seeing Superior come in and being a factor, seeing Frostlass come in and actually making an appearance and making his presence known. Those are some of the things I saw, and it was just kind of took me aback to see those things happen. Not really surprised about Lickitung being in here, because Lickitung, of course, is very dominant. But to see Medicham just sweeping every single team has it, and without seeing Pelipper, no Pelipper whatsoever, that was really a surprising thing to see in day two.
That was great. Yeah, no Pelipper whatsoever. The Superior definitely showed how superior it was here. And I do think that the Frostlass stock is going to skyrocket now. We talked about it in the last two recaps. Ice really showing that it could have great play here in Frostlass with that Avalanche and that Shadow Ball. We've all heard it if you played Sylph. Frostlass with energy just wins matchups. So be on the lookout, as that Pokemon could be shining in the future for your future regionals. Thank you to all the TOs who took their time out this weekend and gave us an amazing smooth run tournament. We saw a lot of glitches in the game and the calls were perfect. The game ran so smoothly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the production, oh my goodness. Big, huge shout out. The graphics here alone got just, it's not a green screen anymore. There's design to it. It's beautiful. It's getting better and better. And I'm so grateful for Daniel Z and everybody behind the scenes making this production so great for us Go trainers who want to watch at home. Thank you to Dracoviz for an amazing, for all the graphics and their amazing uptick on all of the stats. Go ahead and check them out, and they've got tournament play going on as well. So be on the lookout there, as you can now run tournaments through SosaFlo, it was great having you back here again. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure as always.
Yeah, is there anything you'd like to say to the battlers or the trainers who go to these regionals?
Going to regionals, if you're a new player, don't be intimidated because rookies showed up at Peoria. A rookie won Peoria. So coming into regionals, learning, having fun, networking, battling as a new face, don't be intimidated. We were all new at one point in time, but the fact that we have more people, new people, gives more reason for a goal to be at regionals, and it increases the gameplay. It makes the game a lot better for us because of the new faces that are coming to regionals. So keep going.
Yeah, if I was a world champ finalist or something like that, I'd be afraid because now the new wave of battlers are coming. They've seen how we played, and we saw it today in Peoria. This is the third tournament that we've had so far in this season, and it was littered with nothing but rookies. Not great showing this weekend. So impressive showing. Don't ever be afraid to join a regional whatsoever. Absolutely. You can check out SouthwayKhi through Antimatter as a team member here with myself, and all of his links will be down below in the comments. So go ahead and check him out if you want to be on all this amazing analysis that he gave today. Thank you all for watching the Poke Battle Network. Congratulations again to King Alexander. Thank you to the TOs. Thank you, SouthwayKhi, for joining me today. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, and comment down below what you think the new Pokemon stock rise will be in the next tournament for Sacramento. I'm SosaFlo, and like always, keep on battling.